Aging is the disease, because everything else comes from aging. And
Yes.
there's been a lot of trials recently,
Yes.
or there's one trial in particular, the TRIM trial, where they're showing that it is possible to start reversing your age. There's fasting, there's all this sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know your epigenetic age?
I do. I just had it done recently. So I'm 62, but I'm 51. 62 chronologically, 51 biochemically.
Cool.
But there's so many beautiful experts in longevity, but Dr. David Sinclair is, I think, one of the best. He's one of my dearest friends from Harvard. And he took his 80-year-old father, who since he was 70, barely walked, never worked out, seemed to be losing cognitive capacity, and transformed him with a couple of very simple tools that make your body stronger. He now outlifts David in the gym. He walks, I think it's 2 or 3 miles every day. His cognitive came back. But here's the part you understand. I don't know if this is too complex. I'll keep it really simple. Most people know today, your DNA is not your destiny. Those 3.2 billion letters from your father and your mother, they're like the plan. But what matters are what gets turned on and turned off, which genes get turned on and turned off. So your epigenome, which means epi means above, think of it like the piano is the plan, the piano is your genome, your DNA. The player is the epigenome. And the epigenome is affected by diet, exercise, sleep, right? All the things, chemicals you're exposed to, et cetera. But there's something above that was discovered by David Sinclair and a couple other researchers. One was a Nobel Prize winner. And that is, there are these things called sirtuins. You don't have to remember the word, but just think of them as 7 master genes. These sirtuins do 2 things that are critical for your life. Now, you're 25?
26.
26, right? So you're not thinking about this very much right now. You got a mansion, you got a young team that's fixing it up. And
No, I'm obsessed. I'm thinking about all of it.
Okay, well, I'm glad
I'm trying to get ahead of it.
Okay,
I want to live to be 150.
Most people aren't thinking that way when they're your age, but because you're an athlete, you're thinking it this way, right? Most people don't. But check this out. Your sirtuins do 2 things that are sometimes in competition as you get older. First, they turn on and off genes. And whether you get age older, quicker, faster, or slower, what happens to you disease-wise is which genes are turned off. You don't want certain genes turned on at a certain stage. These sirtuins affect the epigenome and shape that. They also affect inflammation, which as an athlete is the basis of all kinds of challenges. And they affect your mitochondria, which is the energy source in every cell in your body. So if you have high energy, that's strong. Well, they're the source that helps them to take food in and convert it into energy, into ATPs, I'm sure you know. So now, what else do they do? Well, they also have a competing component, because they can only do so much, which is cleaning up your DNA. So at 25, your DNA should be in great shape. But at 35, no matter what you do, because of exposure to radiation, et cetera, your night sleeps and things, it'll be affected a little bit. Well, by the time you're 50 or 60, you accumulate all this, right? Well, right at the time when you need it the most, these sirtuins have a fuel that you've probably heard of called NAD. And NAD, right, I'm sure you probably had an NAD infusion or something of that nature.
Every morning, yeah.
So NAD is wonderful, but NAD is a size molecule that, as you probably know, needs a precursor called NMN to actually get into the body. And NAD and NMN drop off the cliff in your late 40s to 50s by at least 50%. So right when you need it most, for cleaning up your DNA because of accumulation and for energy, and that's why people age.